Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of the Winter Crew of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, hosted by Variant Roles. My name is Eugenio Vargas. I use he, him pronouns, and I am also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands, from the actual play podcast, The Last Refuge. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We are very close to Halloween, as you might have noticed. And we couldn't help but be in the spirit. Why don't we go ahead and introduce everybody else who's in varying degrees of costumes tonight? Jonathan, why don't we start with you? How are you doing this week?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm Jonathan. You can typically find me with Red Hand Roleplay on Twitter. And I am Rocky, the monk / bodyguard, he, him for both the character and I.
All right. Well, let's hop over. I'm just going to go in order of the way that I see you on the overlay. We're going to go to Stephen next.
Hi. I play Rowan Tosscobble Porridgepot. There is a hyphen between Tosscobble and Porridgepot. I am a halfling bard and maybe something else at this point. We both have the pronouns he, him, and though he is a halfling, Rowan prefers the word him.
As do many in the city of Waterdeep. Alrighty, let's hop on over to Max. How are you doing, Max? That's some lovely and wishful thinking cherry blossoms in the background there.
Well, thank you for noticing. I'm doing great. Playing Theron, who's currently a spring-themed Eladrin, using at the moment she or they pronouns. I use he, him, but I won't be here. It'll all be Theron.
As it should be. Solid role-playing. Alex, how about you? How are you doing this week?
I am doing very, very well.
Good.
You might say I'm a little horny.
No. Oh, God, it didn't even take 5 minutes.
No.
Stereotype.
I am Alexander Gaston. I play a rogue fighter named Some, who is a tiefling. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character. I am super, super stoked to be here and be a little bit decked out and just ready to go.
The horns look real good, and that's all I'm going to say because you'll twist it. Last but most certainly not least, Allison. Hi. Ooh, the teeth. Yes.
Yeah. Hello. I'm Allison. You can't understand me right now. You can find me on Twitter at Letico5 and with Red Hand Roleplay with Jonathan. I play Annie Velroth Kama. She's a half-orc. And she's a barbarian. And I'm not going to wear these the rest of the stream because it's hard to talk. So.
But it's so good. So good.
But, just for the opening. And she, her pronouns for both my character. Yeah. You understood that. Yeah.
Yes, we did. Awesome. It is going to be a session, and I'm excited about it. Just to catch you up, in case you haven't joined us before, we are part of a 14 mega stream or Borg stream. All 4 streams are playing through Wizards of the Coast's newest published adventure, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. All 4 of the teams are somehow connected, and the teams are very slowly beginning to figure out maybe sort of kind of how they are in fact connected. So we are the Winter Crew. Last week, the Winter Crew, after rescuing 2 friends of the semi-famous Volothamp Gedarm, named Floon Blagmar and Rainier Neverwinter, opened a tavern / smithy / school of martial arts for orphaned children.
As you
The
do.
place is called The Fighting Spirit, which is my favorite thing ever. It was an amazing opening weekend for them. They had a quiet, soft opening, and things just went really well for the official opening. Word quickly spread, and The Fighting Spirit has become the new hot drinking spot in the North Ward. But it wasn't just the drunks who found their way to the new tavern. The party was approached by both the Black Staff to join the organization called the Grey Hands, and by someone named Davil Starsong to join the Zentara. Of course, joining is never easy as simply saying yes. The parties had to debate at length whether or not they wanted to become embroiled in the politics of various organizations. And of course, they were given introductory quests. They completed one for the Grey Hands and have just been given one for the Zentara. They are just now, I believe, leaving the Yawning Portal after meeting with Davil Starsong and being given a mission to complete. So, take it away, folks.
Well, I think that we would be best served by splitting up. I think that me and Silme can do some investigation and asking around. We know a lot of people, particularly in the docks, and then maybe Theron and Annabelle can stake out the location.
I mean, I'm always good to go on an adventure
Sounds-
with you, big brother.
If
Awesome.
they're decapitating elves, I definitely don't want to go alone. I'd really enjoy the assistance.
Well, I imagine that Rocky would be well served in either group. So where would you like to go? Big brother or little brother?
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally couldn't hear that. Can you say that one more time?
Who's
Yes.
big? Who's little?
I think that you would be you would do very well with backing up either group. And so, who would you like to go with?
Well, I think I should probably go with Sil and you. It just seems like the docks might be pretty dangerous. Might be good for me to come along.
Okay.
I mean, I'm never going to say no to you, big man.
All right. Well, Theron, Annabelle, do you need anything before we part ways?
Yeah, we're gonna be fine, I'm sure. Come on, Theron, let's go.
I wrap my arms around her arm and just follow along, hugging her bicep.
Oh boy.
Bye.
Have fun.
All right. I am super excited for this particular splitting of the party. I cannot resist but to start with Theron and Annie. So let's go ahead and follow them as they head out of the yawning portal, arm in arm.
Body on
My
arm.
microphone is very far away from me. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There it is. There's the magic.
Duh. Yes, let's go with Theron and Annie. And continue to follow them as they head out arm in arm, apparently.
So, Annie, you're a little more familiar with that section of the dock world than I. Do you know any good bars where we could stake out?
Oh, let me think about that.
Almost certainly. Go ahead and make me an intelligence Waterdeep knowledge check, just to see like how many you can rattle off quickly. How'd we do? Really well, I can tell.
Use my inspiration to make it a little bit better. So that's a 12.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, you've spent time down there, so it was just sort of a matter of how many you were able to remember. There's one in particular that sailors tend to sort of frequent in the later parts of the night, called the Trollskull Tavern. There are several others, but that one, when Davil gave you the mission, he mentioned that they were elf and half-elves that were being targeted, but also that they were sailors. So that's sort of the first one that pops into your head to maybe go check out.
Yeah, I'm thinking, he said that thing about sailors, so maybe we go to the Trollskull Tavern. It's a pretty good one to go to. What do you say?
I say that sounds great, and I'm wondering what it is about us and skull themes going on the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, are they gonna have a skull of a mule? I mean, we didn't find a skull of a troll in Trollskull Tavern, but maybe they're gonna have, because the other one had an anchor in the middle of it, and the yawning portal has a portal in the middle of it,
To be fair, it's probably a lot easier to find a mule skull than it is to find a troll skull. I'd be afraid of the troll skull regenerating a whole troll as you try and hang it as a trophy. Does this seem awkward to you? You're talking to me instead of insulting at me.
Oh, what? No, it's fine, isn't it?
You've been nice to me the last couple of days, and I'm not really sure what's going on, but I don't mind. I'm glad we're finally becoming friends.
Oh, yeah. Let's go get a drink, maybe, and talk over a drink about this. I don't like talking about this out in the open. We're still out in the open on the road. People can hear things.
Get it, girl.
And so an awkward, silent walk.
Awesome.
Camera cut to the continuation of the conversation 10 minutes later.
Theron's still holding on to Annie's arm, though.
No,
Is the
no.
plan for you all to hover inside the mule skull or to stake out outside?
We should get a drink anyway, warm ourselves, and keep an eye on the windows and doors, get a table near the window, so if any elves or half-elves walk by, we'll see them going, or if anyone inside leaves that has pointy ears, or we use me as bait.
I don't need to use you as bait. I think we can just see the coming and goings. My perception's fine. Let's do that.
I love it when we just toss in meta concepts into our conversation. All right, so you're going to head into the mule skull. So you all walk down the street and head towards the mule skull. And as the two of them head down towards the dock wards, we pop back over to Syl and Rowan and Rocky.
Okay, so I know, Silme, you know a lot of guards, particularly in and around the dock area. And I can check in with some of our family members that, particularly the ones that work with the ships and might know some people. I think the dock's pretty much shut down for winter, so I'm sure there's just a lot of people who are super bored and gossiping and probably drinking a lot. So hopefully we can just, knock on a few doors and just basically find a good crime scene that we can poke around at.
Well, we have to be a little bit careful with the guards. Now, I know some guards. I would say about 40% of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a lot.
They're still not very keen on helping with matters that are not their own. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah. Well, that's all anyone can do.
All right. Well, I'd like to say that your hair looks amazing,
All right. So where are you all headed, and what's the goal here?
I guess. Go ahead.
I enjoyed that exchange, but
yeah, just going to the dock district, and
okay.
I have criminal contacts, so I will ask around with criminal contacts to see if I can find other people who know about the crimes, maybe where the crimes are committed. I just feel like getting the story from the Zentarum and being told, hey, just go wander around and poke into this is probably not the whole story. And so it might behoove us to do a little poking around.
Okay, great. So why don't you all, so you're going to talk to people, right? So why don't you make me charisma investigation checks?
Oh.
Do we get advantage because we're from here? Do I get advantage because I'm from here?
I will buy that. Okay, so yes, sure. Sure. Why not?
I get a 20.
Oh, that was worse than the first one.
Oh, no. All right, so Rowan's was a what?
20.
Fantastic. Syl.
What am I doing? What is it?
Charisma investigation.
Investigation?
Charisma investigation, though. So add your charisma bonus, not your intelligence bonus.
So +3 instead of my intelligence +2?
Yeah, even better.
See, it's all coming up roses or something.
I see that I have an inspiration.
Do you want to use it?
I'm debating. I'll save it.
All right.
Because I don't think it's going to help.
So this is actually at I was going to say it's a total of +5 because you are proficient in investigation, Syl. But yes, that makes it an 8. So Syl is, we'll say, easily distracted during this investigation. Rowan, however, does manage to get. Gotta grab the book. Does manage to get a bit of information out of folks. There are a few people who very clearly sort of have also noticed this problem. Most of them don't want to talk too much about it. One of the folks that you talk to, though, does sort of is like on the verge of telling you something and then sort of thinks better of it and is really waffling back and forth. So go ahead and make me a charisma persuasion check now to see if you can
course.
get him to...
I will get a 17.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So you sort of reassure him that,
everything's going to be okay.
Everything's going to be okay. They won't know it came from you. And he tells you that he's pretty sure that he saw something happen the other night. And maybe it's just him, but he saw the assailant run off after the attack, and he could swear it was a dark elf. But that doesn't make any sense, right?
Right. That's really strange. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your help. Can you tell me where that was, maybe?
He says he's having a hard time remembering specifics, but he says that he had just left the Mule Skull Tavern.
Oh, well, okay then. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.
He says, and remember, it didn't come from me.
Of course not. I don't even know your name.
He says, let's keep it that way. And so do I. All right. Good. Okay, so you've got some information there. Let's hop back on over to the two who have just entered the Mule Skull Tavern. Grabbing drinks, you two?
Yeah. And a table, I guess? Or
Sure.
Near the window.
stand awkwardly.
And why don't you two make me wisdom perception checks just to sort of keep an eye on what's going on, who's around.
I'm just staring at my glass.
Yeah, it's 5, so...
Okay, well, clearly you two are far too busy having the conversation with each other. So let's do that.
I think Annie's probably just awkwardly drinking her drink and not looking at Theron to not talk, even though she said, "Yeah, we're gonna go talk about this."
That sounds about right.
Come on, Annie, out with it. You saved my life, and ever since you were just so cold. Your shoulders broad and frozen around me all the time, and yet I come down the stairs, and I've changed my seasons, and I now dress in Sill's clothing, and you seem friendlier towards me now. Is it something against the orange hair? Do you hate gingers? Are you against the ones with the red hair? Or was it the fact that I appear more masculine in the autumn?
Think Annie takes a swig, and maybe almost downs the whole drink real quick.
Sure.
Puts her cup down. She looks at Theron and she's like, "Yeah, it was because you looked like an entitled pretty boy, and now you don't. Let's just say there were things in my past having to do with entitled pretty boys that I don't like. And I don't like them, and I'd punch them in the face every day if I could."
I hope we don't meet when I'm Winter. He's kind of a pretty boy, and I don't even like when I'm Winter.
Oh, great. You got another... Oh, great. Okay.
You'll like me in the summer. I like to punch things in the summer. Maybe...
Oh, boy.
Well, look, Theron, I know I've been trying really hard to not... You're not that person that I have a problem with, and neither were Floon and Rainier, but every time I see... And you're not even noble, kind of like they looked a little bit more noble. I mean, we found you on the streets and you didn't have a home, and you're so excited to even have a house now. It's just... I can't really talk about it, but it's just every time I want to punch something, and I'm pretty close to wanting to punch something right now too, just thinking about it.
Well, how about we get you a therapy cat, and whenever you want to punch somebody who is attractive, give the therapy cat a pet.
But what if I accidentally squish the cat?
Only if it tries to eat roadkill. My mouse is off limits. But just if I seem like an entitled, if I seem like an entitled prick at any point, go ahead and punch me. I fully accept. I will do my best to not appear that way, and we can get on improving our friendship.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when you were in your other, what'd you say, season?
My seasons, yes.
You were just more whiny than you were necessarily entitled, and I think that maybe kind of rubbed me the wrong way too, in that it was like, entitled, no, now whiny, and so I mean, I saved you, and you just kind of latched on like a puppy. and that was kind of weird. So, but I mean, you're all right there, and you saved us a lot. You healed me and Rocky all after our fights. You're a good cleric.
Well, I
Good friend.
hope to continue to be that way. And you're a good fighter, and you defend well, and you sure know how to take off a head.
Yeah, I do.
Are you the elf beheader?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No.
Dragon Heist therapy. All right, so they're having a lovely conversation. The three of you who were headed out for investigating and talking to folks, where are you headed next?
Well, I guess we're headed to the... Oh, sorry. Please go ahead.
I just had a quick question. So I'm from here.
Uh-huh.
Some is from the Dark World.
Yep.
Does she know of any way that might be any place that might be kind of a hub for information, some place that she knows that she can go and find something?
I possibly, but that last person that you talked to sort of said the magic word that you know is going to clam everybody up, which was Dark Elf.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going to have a real hard time finding anybody to give you a ton of information, even if they do know stuff, because everybody's going to be, if that's the case, if that guy was right and the Dark Elves, the Drow are involved, that's going to put everybody on edge.
Would I know if asking any of the watch around would be even worth it?
It's always worth a try. Yeah, they may. I mean, you know how sort of things work. Yeah, that Captain Staggett that you met back before, like a lot of the guards in the Dock Order of that same mentality, like keep it off the streets, and as long as that's the case, but it's worth a try.
Do I know of anywhere? Because I would assume that would probably know some kind of schedule. Would I know of anywhere that perhaps one of the guards that I have an understanding with might be around?
Yeah. You could totally get to like a guard post, like a watch post, and find somebody there. Yeah.
That I know?
Yeah, definitely.
Then I would like to ask Rowan if I could do that.
Of course you can. Do you want any assistance or just backup? Or is this one of those things that you would be better off talking to them alone?
I might try to do this one on my own, Big Brother.
Of course.
Well, if you think it's safe.
Yeah, by all means. We'll wait right back here.
I think I'll be all right. Rocky, just keep an eye on him, okay?
Okay. I don't plan on going nowhere.
I'll keep an eye on him too, just to make sure that he's safe.
You weren't supposed to hear that, but okay. I would like to head off to a guard post.
Okay. So there's one just a few minutes down a couple of streets, and you can get there, and you happen to be friendly with the watchman on duty there that night, who's not out on patrol. So he's willing to have a conversation.
Hello, love. Do I know his name or her name? Or its name?
You do know his name. It is oh no, that's actually a real person's name. It is.
These are real people.
I
think I just lost my inspiration.
You try to use it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, all right. This person's name is this woman's name is Penny.
Penny? Oh,
Penny.
Penny. Like Penny, P-E-N or Panny?
P-E-N-N-Y.
Okay, Penny. All right. Hello, Penny, darling. How are you doing this evening? Oh, don't be like that.
Yeah, well, you know what happened last time, dear.
I do remember what happened last time.
Still haven't paid off that debt.
All right. You know what? Fine.
What you need, hun?
Okay, so I've heard of some unfortunate incidents that's been happening around. Some decapitations.
She immediately cuts you off and goes, nope. We are not going there,
Penny.
Syl. Syl, don't get
Wait.
mixed up in it.
Honey, telling me not to get mixed up into something. You should know better by now.
No. This is different. This is different.
But listen, we're trying to do some good. I don't know if you've heard. All right, listen. So I know this is very unlike me, but I joined the Greyhound, and
You did not.
That is unnecessary. Penny.
Wait, you're serious?
I'm.
How did you pull one over on the Blackstaff?
I didn't pull one over. She came and found me. She literally messaged me in my head.
Okay, let's say I believe you.
Thank you, darling. I'm from the Dark World. You know, this is where I grew up. I just want to make sure people are safe. Please, come on, Penny. Please help me, love.
Fine.
Thank you,
But
darling.
if you go and join the ranks of decapitated folks, don't say I didn't warn you. I'm serious, Syl. This is...
Well, I wouldn't have a head to tell you otherwise, so it wouldn't matter.
That's fair. All right. Look. There are rumors that a certain drow has come to town and is taking care of some business that I and the rest of the Watch have no interest in dealing with. He's going to take care of whatever he needs to take care of and get out of town. And that's what you should let him do.
A person who comes into town and takes the heads off of people with no reason doesn't sound like a good person.
He's got his reasons, I'm sure.
Just, if I were a certain drow, where would I hang out?
I don't know. I don't. I really don't know. I don't know where he stays. All I know is that most of the murders happened on Ship Street. So he or his operatives must be somewhere around there. My hood keeps falling off.
Do they know what kind of business? So obviously we know what kind of business is he for. Do we know who the boss is?
I don't know his name. No one will tell me. It's above my pay grade.
All right, so you don't know if he's part of, you don't know the organization or anything.
All above my pay grade. All I know is to keep well away.
All right. Nothing else that you can think of, darling. Just to help.
Yeah, stay out of it, babe.
I will do my best, and I won't go in alone. I promise.
All right. Be careful.
Thank you. And I give her a kiss on the cheek. I'll come by later. Bye, Penny. Pen, I love you. Okay.
All right. Okay. So
Ooh.
there's a bit of information.
Yes.
What are the three of you doing?
Yeah.
And I read her. So I talk with Penny. Do you remember Penny? She's so pretty. Did you ever meet Penny?
Maybe.
I don't know. Never mind. It's not important.
Okay.
So she was saying that they've heard that possibly your Dark Elf info is right. So they heard that there's a certain drow in town. She doesn't know his name, doesn't know who he's worked for, but he's here on certain types of business. And it seems that all the murders have been happening over on Ship Street, and that might be where he seems to be working.
Oh.
But she doesn't know where he is. But that's a lead though, Ship Street.
Yeah, we should head over there and snoop around.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And that way you head. Theron and Annie, having had a really cathartic little therapy session, what are we doing now?
I'm scanning the room to see if I see any other elven-blooded folk.
I feel like we're both scanning to avoid looking at each other after having.
Totally.
Like,
Go ahead and make new perception checks now. You're like really actively trying to not pay attention to each other.
18.
Okay, there's. Okay, well, you're trying so hard that it's like that thing where like you read the same sentence in a book over and over because you're trying so hard to look like you're reading that you don't actually read. But Theron, you notice there are several elf and half-elf patrons here. You spot, easily a dozen different elves and half-elves in attendance, and at least half of them look like they're probably sailors of some description. Most of the ones that you think are probably sailors are pretty well into their cups. They sort of, are stumbling in and out.
So how do we decide who's a mark for the killer? Should we just wait for the others? Maybe you should throw someone through a window to leave a sign when the others come so they'll know we're here.
Oh, right, yeah, we're looking. Yeah, well, I mean, they did say sailors, so, but there's like a lot of them here. So, it's kind of hard to narrow it down. And they're all drinking. I mean, I could try to arm wrestle a few, maybe. Kind of strike up a rapport. I don't know if that would work, but
I mean,
maybe they can tell us.
maybe some of them actually know some of the victims. Maybe we should do the questioning. I mean, we don't have Rowan here, and he's in Syl to do any of the seductive stuff. But I could give it a try.
We don't need seductive.
Oh, please.
I mean, I'm not used to this body. I don't know how they'll receive it.
This is
Well-
the best day of my life.
Back me up, please. I'm going in.
I just have
going
guns,
in.
so I'll just stand intimidatingly behind you.
Great.
Are there any chance of anybody trying to get?
I'll saunter over,
Okay.
dressed in Syl's medium well clothes.
Yep.
Medium well, I'm not a piece of steak.
All right.
You did
all
say
right.
it was nice clothes, but not your best.
All right. You're sauntering over to an elf or a half elf.
Let's see. I got my two-sided spell
I love
book.
it.
So, let's see. 1 for full, 2 for half.
Okay.
1 for full.
All right. So you head over to an elf, one of the sailors, presumably. He seems like maybe he's the most sober of the elvish sailors, although that's a pretty low bar. So, and he's having a conversation with a couple of his human sailor buddies.
Trying to strike hello, boys.
Oh my god. Give me a baseline charisma persuasion, please.
That's a 19.
Yes! Oh my god, they all just stop talking
Yes.
and turn. And they're not being lewd about it yet, but they're all definitely you have their attention.
No. I see that the spirits are high and flowing. I just wanted to sit down and have a little chat about some of the goings-on in the dock ward lately. If you don't mind my company and my bodyguard.
So that's the first time that they notice Annie, and they immediately seem a little less excited. Yeah, that's why. But the elf sort of looks back and forth between the two of you and nods to an empty bar stool.
I stand behind
Oh boy.
Baron.
Not actually knowing the rules of engagement here, Theron is going to cut to the chase.
Absolutely.
So, we've heard that there's a bit of a problem around the docks for, and I point to the elf, your kind and mine. And
Go ahead.
we are with the Greyhound, and we've come to try and help.
All right. So his face sort of gets a little darker, and like all of the enthusiasm that he showed at the start sort of seems to drain away a little bit. And he says, he just sort of nods, and he says, "And what do you want from me?"
Are you familiar with any of the other elves that have been taken from us?
He says, "Yeah, I sure am."
Was there anything that linked them that might have made them targets? This benefits the both of us. Any information you can have, it saves your neck and it saves mine.
He says, "Not as far as I can see. I only knew one of them. He was a shipmate of mine. Seemed to live a pretty straightforward life, wife and kids back home."
did these attacks happen in the same general area, or were they spread across?
He says, I don't know anything about the other ones, just him.
Was he known to travel alone? I know you're brave sailors, not afraid of anything, but has anything been done to try and limit the victims?
He shakes his head. He says, nah, we take care of ourselves for the most part.
Walking in groups?
He just shakes his head and he says, I'll leave the bar when I want to leave the bar.
Okay. Would you mind a little company back to the ship?
He sort of isn't quite sure if you propositioned him or offered him protection. So for the moment, he will just say that he's not ready to leave.
We're waiting on some other friends too, but if there's any more information, we are up at the it's called Fighting Spirits now. It used to be Trollskull Manor. Feel free to stop by and have a drink and have a chat.
He says, maybe I will.
I give another wink and I get up and head back with Annie. And I just... What was that?
Yeah, I think about one of the few things that you channeled from Syl was her wink. It's not quite how she does it, but it was a good first attempt. Really I think. Good. I actually don't know anything about that either, so.
Yeah.
Maybe need to take some tips from her later.
Just a slap on the chest. See, we have more in common than you knew.
The chest.
And back to our table.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
Okay, yeah, I know you knew this, Darren, but you don't slap in the chest area, right?
Just a little more to the sternum above it. I'm not going. No tit smack.
She's a half orc. They're
armored.
Right, so Syl and Rocky and Rowan.
Good night, everybody. All right.
I don't know how to talk. Max as Theron as a female.
I'm sorry.
I can't. I'm so proud of you.
All right, back at the ranch.
What are the three of you doing? You're heading to Ship Street.
We are.
Yes.
We're
Great. Let's have perception checks from the three of you to see what you spot as you arrive at sort of one entrance to Ship Street. Rowan.
I rolled an 18, so that's a 17.
Oh, right. I do love that about all of you. Syl.
I rolled a 19, so that's a 19.
All right. The bonuses are slowly getting better. Rocky.
I rolled a 13, so that's a 17.
Hey! There's a bloody perception bonus.
I did it.
Well, all right.
Oh my
gosh. Somehow you all did well, though. So you all notice a very strange thing. So you very quickly catch sight of somebody sort of stumbling out onto Ship Street, clearly well into their drink, stumbling a little bit, trying their best to walk in a straight line. And you all are pretty observant, fortunately, I guess, and happen to notice as he sort of takes a hat off his head, you happen to notice his ears that mark him as a half-elf.
Okay.
And just as you all sort of register that, a lot of things happen very quickly. So the first thing that you all notice is a figure just seems to peel away from one of the walls of the buildings near where this half-elf is. You would have sworn there was nobody there a second ago, but he just sort of seems to peel away from it, totally cloaked, hood up, can't really see him very well, but you do see the glint in the moonlight of two drawn swords. And he heads for this half-elf. But before he can take 2 steps, a group of 5 more cloaked figures comes running pell-mell out into State Street, grabs the drunken half-elf, yanks him off the street and down an alley, and they all vanish. The cloaked figure looks around, super confused, and then takes off after them.
Takes off after all 5 of them?
Yeah. Well, 6 of them, including the half-elf.
Did all of we see this?
Yes.
Yeah. Rowan's just going to start off after. Yeah,
absolutely. And it all happened so, like, by the time one thing registered, the next thing had already happened.
Yeah.
Off you go, and you run to the corner. You turn this corner of the alley, and the only thing you can see is a slight flicker at the end of the alley, a slight shimmer at the end of the alley, but it's a dead end, and there's nobody there.
Could I have gotten off a bonus action? With,
I think so.
Targeting the cloaked individual?
I think the cloaked individual you could. None of the original group, but that cloaked individual, yeah.
Well, then I would like to hex them, specifically their dexterity.
Great. In that case...
Ooh. Oh, God. Are we about to get in a fight? Screw it. Let's do it, guys.
Okay. Disadvantage. That's why you hexed them. Duh.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so in that case, rewinding just a little bit. So you turn the corner and you see lying flat out in the middle of this dead-end alleyway, you see the cloaked figure just like has apparently face planted, managed to keep hold of both swords, but as he pushes himself up, his cloak falls back and you see, wait, I want to make sure I get this right. Yes, you see the figure of a dark elf who turns and looks at the 3 of you and sort of scowls, and then he fuzzes and flickers and glitches and is gone.
What? That's cheating!
I wanted to throw stuff at him. He can't flicker out.
To be fair, he started towards you guys. It doesn't look like it's a thing that he did, because he looked like he was going to start towards you all. Like,
wait, did they die? Like, is my hex now free to move to somebody else because they died?
Oh, that's so interesting.
Get that info. I really wanted to throw at him because I would have.
Oh.
I wanted to throw.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Was it? Okay.
I hadn't thought about that, but I like it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go over and check out the area. Try to get a look at their footprints, like if they ran through snow, if I can get an idea of like their shoes and stuff.
Absolutely.
Maybe that was some sort of magic or something. I just don't know.
Totally. Let's start with a wisdom survival check.
Okay.
And I just look at Rocky going, what?
Can I have advantage on this because I am a cobbler and I'm looking for shoes?
Oh, God.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes, I love that so much. Yes.
All right. Then I get a 15.
Okay. You do see some tracks, but as you watch them, as they sort of continue on, each one almost like in time to what you imagine would be their like running pace, the footsteps also fizz, glitch, and disappear.
Well, okay. Well, I guess the murdering's over. Problem solved. Case closed.
As he says that, Rocky comes storming over him and just throws a punch right where the guy was, just in case.
Oh my God.
Good. So
I'd have this in the background like, meh.
I love that. So, we're gonna crossfade back into the mule skull as Rocky is throwing the punch at the open air. It's amazing. Annie and Theron, actually, I think it's Annie. You feel a tap on your shoulder behind you.
What?
And you turn around, and there is a, cloaked figure standing behind you, human, and he very quickly sort of like, just barely like, pulls his arm out from underneath his cloak to show you his wrist, where there is the tattoo of a flying snake, so that you can identify who he's with. And he looks pissed.
Wait, you got a problem or something?
He says, no, but you're going to if you miss another drop.
What are you talking about?
he looks so frustrated. He's like, you were told to go pick up the drop from Schemo. What are you doing here at the bar?
Trying to save lives.
He looks real confused.
Decapitation of elves, things that are happening.
He looks even more confused and just says, what? Leave that to the folks that got us. Just do the job that we assign you.
What? Doesn't what's his name? Gosh, Davil. Davil, that's your boss, right?
He goes, yeah, and yours for this particular job.
We're not a part of the organization yet. Do you see any
for this job?
I look at Theron. Is he hearing? Is she hearing any of this?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you were still sitting right next to Annie, right, Theron? I think you might be muted.
I'm just taking this in, confused.
Yep.
Did we sign up for something, Annie? You didn't. You stayed with us the whole time. I don't remember hearing anything about another mission.
I did.
I think you're confused, sir.
Maybe we should follow this. I don't know.
He says, "Look, we've arranged with Schemo for the drop to be available again in 2 days. Just don't screw it up this time, all right?"
Yeah. Where's the drop happening? Just refresh my memory since I forgot, apparently.
I told Davil that this was a mistake to invite you all. He says, look, let's go from the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a shop in the trade wards called Weird Bottles Concoctions. You're meant to go there, ask for Schemo, pick up the potions, and deliver them to the Godcatcher. You know, and you would know, you have been in Waterdeep like long enough. You know that the Godcatcher is one of the enormous walking statues that sort of litters the landscape of Waterdeep. He says, take it to the Godcatcher and give the potions to the lady in the purple cloak.
Right, yeah, it's all coming back to me now, of course. Yeah, lady in the purple cloak. Yeah, okay. 2 days, weird bottle connections delivered to Godcatcher. Yeah.
He turns to you, Theron, and goes, please tell me that you retained what I just said better.
Yes, potions, Godcatcher, purple cloak.
Close enough. And he sort of storms out of the bar.
What the heck was that, Theron?
I don't know. Are we being set up as? Are we mules? Are we drug mules? Are we becoming drug mules and mule
What?
Quick, check your butt.
Stop
it. What?
Were you given any instructions? Were we slipped? Rowan? Maybe Rowan. You know Rowan better than I do. Maybe Rowan was given some orders.
His family has lots of connections, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we need to talk to him about it. See if he knows a Schemo person thing. I don't know. Well, I really wasn't paying attention.
Did he say a specific Godcatcher? There's more than one, right?
The Godcatcher statue.
Yeah, you and I mean it's such a mark, it's such a monument in Waterdeep. You know exactly what it is. In the Castle Ward. It's if I'm not mistaken, it's a statue that one leg is sunk up to like the knee or mid thigh in the street, and the other one hand, and it's the other knee is down on the ground. One hand is trying to like it's pushing itself up, and the other hand is reaching up to the sky, reaching for a giant stone orb that floats a few feet above its outstretched hand.
The lady in a purple
if anyone
cloak,
is a particular Waterdeep lore nerd and I screwed that up, please feel free to correct me.
We're on Twitter. At DM Jazzy Hands.
Not a Twitter handle. Cool.
At Eugenio Vargas.
Closer.
We'll get there.
Maybe we should go find them. We didn't really tell them where we were going to be, which bar we were going to be in. Maybe we should be outside in the cold. Take a peek anyway. Maybe they're on their way. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, this is it's a head scratcher for sure. They didn't tell us where they were going though either. So
Well, they
yeah,
were coming
that's
to
a
this
bad
club.
idea. We should have really thought that one through. Whoops.
That would be completely out of character for us, though.
That's true. Yeah, I guess we can look around. Otherwise, we might as well head back. We're not finding anything here. To maybe fighting spirits. Maybe everyone will round up there.
Hmm. No, it wouldn't hurt to take a walk down the dock and back. I'm sure if anyone was going to attack, they wouldn't attack me with you standing next to me.
That's right, they wouldn't. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, let's go for a walk.
All
Yeah.
right. And out you head from the Mule Skull. Other team Charisma. Oh, you're both team Charisma. I don't know. The other group. So you all are investigating.
Team
Rowan,
Disaster.
is that? I'm going to refrain. So Rowan, you found the footprints that
Yes.
that fuzzed out. And what's next?
And did they just disappear? There isn't like
Just like
footprints going
everything
up.
else that you've seen, like glitch and fuzz, like that. It started with that troll back in the yawning
Okay.
portal.
What is this shit?
Still, Rocky, I think I need to talk to you about something. It's kind of serious. I thought that I had it under control, but I obviously do not. Okay.
I just kneel down and just clutch his hands. What's going on?
It's just this keeps happening. My magic isn't working the way that I thought that it would, the way that I was told. Okay. I just need a second.
Just breathe.
Well, I wanted to talk to you too about this anyway. I mean, it's getting a little weird now. Can we trust Annie and Theron? Like really trust them about the important stuff?
I know we can definitely trust Annie. Theron, they're growing on me.
Well,
I mean, but you can trust Rocky and I. What?
Well, of course.
Are you wondering if you whether should talk to the group?
Yes, I kind of just figured that this would be like a temporary arrangement, that we were working together as like a short-term thing, and then it's obviously becoming more than that. And we've got a business together, and we're getting into some really weird stuff together. And obviously, they're going to figure things out sooner or later.
I think we've become a little bit more than just business partners. I think we're slowly, painfully, we're becoming a family. I think we should talk with all of them.
Okay. Well, I just should I lie or should I just tell them the truth or like part of the truth?
Big brother, obviously something is going on. I'm never, ever, ever going to make you do anything that you feel uncomfortable or scared of. And you know that you don't even have to tell me anything. I will stand in front of anything that comes at you. But if there's something going on and you think it might affect all of us, perhaps it would be wise for us to have a powwow of sorts.
Okay.
But
okay.
if you want to talk to us first and then we talk to them, it's up to you. I'm here for you. I'm worried.
Well, I'm a little concerned with all this weird. I don't even know what to call it. Like the fuzziness. Are they being thrown into another dimension? It's okay. Let's just go back and find them. Rocky, what do you think?
I think what Silme said, ditto.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you both. That helps a lot. Okay. Let's wait a minute. Where are they?
Shit.
Did you?
Yeah, they were gonna go stake a place out, and we really should have figured out what that place was before they left.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe, oh,
Well, I guess the problem's solved. I mean, the murderer's just gone, so let's just go home.
I don't know.
Is this
Why
a
would
case closed?
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eugenio, can I look around and just see if there's anything that might? I don't know what I'm asking. Like, I don't know if there's like a trace of magic or like a scar or a rune. Like, do you know?
I do. I think we're going to need wisdom perception for that. Or, you know what? Since you're looking for something specific, I'll take intelligence investigation.
Thank God. Okay. You said investigation?
Yes.
No, 19.
All right. No. I try not to do that very often as a DM, but man, that was no. So
I feel
with the
heartbroken right now. I just
here's what you do sort of realize though is that there isn't anything, right? Which seems weird. 6, 7 people just came pelting down this way, and you see no evidence of them whatsoever.
Big brother.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have faith in your amazing and powerful capabilities.
Oh, well, that makes one of us.
I don't think this is you. Something. They're completely disappeared. Like, I know, like, you have to understand, Rowan, we were going down this alley to look for one person, but we followed 6, and they're gone. Like, all of them are gone.
Yeah, but I cursed them, Selma, and they disappeared. Well, I cursed one of them.
Yes, you cursed one of them, but all of them are gone. There's something bigger at play here.
Yeah,
but I do believe that you and I still need to have a talk.
Well, I mean, there was that floating grapefruit illusion that I made that like shot one of its eye lasers at somebody.
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't it? But I didn't mean it to do that. It shouldn't be able to do that.
But Rowan, also when we were at the yawning portal, I don't think you used any magic there, and it still happened. So
what are you talking about?
Oh right,
because we didn't see it. Only you saw it, Rocky.
Wait. Well, when we were at the yawning portal.
Well,
I heard a commotion.
Yeah. Well, there was a troll. There was a troll there.
There was a troll?
No, there wasn't.
How did you miss a troll?
You're following my leg.
How did I? I took a hit.
Are you sure you saw a troll?
I was pretty sure I saw a troll until right now.
Rocky, at this point, I just checked the 3 of your passive perceptions, and Rocky, you're the only one who notices you hear a pair of footsteps coming down Ship Street, sort of in y'all's direction.
Okay. At that, I'll kind of like make quick eye contact with both of them, and then kind of like check to the side, and probably kind of like motion to come to the side of the street. I don't know if we're in the middle of the street or what. And
you're in that
basically
alley,
get cover.
Alley, that dead end alley.
Yeah, basically get cover relative to whatever's going on.
Okay. So I'll take anyone who wants to hide. I'll take dexterity stealth.
On it.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh, that was going to be either a natural 20 or a natural 1. I wasn't sure which.
Well,
okay.
There's no such thing for me.
Oh, right. How about you, Sil?
I'm going to use inspiration.
Oh, Lord mercy. All right.
Is this a D6?
No, if it's inspiration that I gave you, it's you roll with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God. It's better. 14.
All right, and Rocky.
I got a 10 because I think I'm trying to cover them behind me.
Absolutely. Really good. Okay, so you I don't know, put a scrap of something over your face. No, 10's not that bad. I shouldn't be mean. But you're not very well hidden behind like a crate that's in this alleyway, and down the street come walking Annie and Theron, And you both immediately spot Rocky, although you don't see Syl or Rowan anywhere, you two, but you do see Rocky failing to hide.
Rocky! I call out. What's up?
Oh my god, it's them. I just ruined my...
I heard footsteps.
Wasn't it us? We're coming towards you, Rocky. I step.
Get over here. Get over here. We need to hide.
I
Quickly,
step
move.
out from behind Rocky's leg. Hey!
You really can't hide behind his
Where
leg.
you
That's
were headed.
crazy.
Yes.
I'll pop out and go, I ruined my inspiration on you!
You are so lucky. I was ready to guiding bolt whoever jumped out at us up the butt.
Yeah. Well, no, I think we're good. So hey, good news, everyone. I think we both solved the case and maybe, I don't know, sent the murderer to a different dimension or atomized them. I'm not really too clear on the specifics, but I don't think they're going to be a problem anymore.
You have a spell for that?
Apparently.
Apparently.
No, Big Brother, I don't think that's the case, but
Well,
I think we've done all we can for tonight. Why don't we head back to the Spirit and maybe have an ale, and I think we all need to talk.
Yeah, we got some things to talk about. We got a job we didn't sign up for, apparently.
Yeah.
I agree. None of you guys listened to me when I said we needed to hide.
Wait.
I totally listened to you. I was hiding right behind you. You made for wonderful cover.
But I don't think you understand, Rowan. We'll talk about this later.
Okay, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to disappoint you.
I guess we'll all leave, but as we leave, can I just take one more look around to see if I see anything?
Sure.
Is this perception?
Yeah, I think in this one, a quick glance around before you all head, yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
And
All right, so it's getting pretty... Yeah.
Well,
it's getting pretty late on in the evening. Sorry, what was that, Rocky?
Well, I said one quick thing. I just want to say to Theron.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. You disappear sometimes, right?
I can as a defensive measure. I can disappear and appear a little ways away.
Well, you saw the laser grapefruit, right?
The one that Rowan summoned, yes?
Right, and how it kind of did that disappearing thing. Is that like what you do?
No, I don't make grapefruits with eye lasers appear.
No, not that part. The disappearing part.
There's probably lots of spells to do such a thing. But his was an illusion. I just thought he dispelled it.
So you're saying that when these guys disappear, it's not like an illusion like you do? Or
Mine's
either of
not
you
an
do?
illusion. Mine's teleport. I disappear from one place and a poof, and I appear somewhere else.
Please understand why I don't understand the difference.
Well, and I disappear in a shimmer of silver glitter, and I appear 30 feet back up the street.
Okay.
See,
And I
nothing like it. Just sparkly, completely different from fuzziness. To use technical terms.
And he reappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm afraid to say it, but I think this mystery may be beyond my cunning.
How will we ever solve it without your knowledge?
I guess we'll just have to see, but I'm worried as well, Theron.
You can just rely on my knowledge. It's all right.
So we may have become drug mules. Let's go back and talk about that.
End scene.
Thank you for saving us. Yes.
Yes, that was nice. And the sun sets upon this little
right off
motley
into
crew.
the sun.
No, I will just say the night is now at this point. It's well past midnight at this point. Most of the bars have probably let out at this point,
Except for ours.
except for yours.
I think we were heading back to have an ale and to talk. Would we be able to do that tonight? No.
Sure.
I feel
maybe
like
somewhere.
that's something that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Maybe somewhere relatively private within the building, since we can just take our drinks to go.
You can always. You guys are welcome. We can sit in my room.
Yeah,
Your
that
room is
sounds-
not soundproof.
Listen.
Mine is, but it's rather small. not even really a room. It's like an attic that I kind of stay at sometimes.
It's not. It's remote. If anybody is listening from a tower, then they deserve to hear whatever's being said. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of pillows.
I don't know how you do it night after night. I tried flirting and it was just
You tried flirting?
I tried.
We're gonna talk about this later.
All right.
Oh, do you want some tips?
Well, if we're even a little bit worried about being overheard, I can at least make it a little bit more difficult. I mean, I know a lot of you speak different weird languages, and I might not understand all of them, but I have magic that'll let me, so I can understand all of you, and speaking a language that all of you can understand, and then they'll only catch like half of what's going on.
All of us at the same time?
No, yeah, I guess that's not really going to work. Never mind.
I liked the seeds of that idea, though. That was clever.
That was very clever.
Yeah.
Big brother.
Yeah, you won't understand each other, so there's got to be some way we can make use of that, but never mind.
I think we'll be okay. So, to the tower. Let's get some ales first, though, okay?
All right.
Okay.
So back home you head, you grab some ales, you head upstairs. The dwarven bartender is on tonight. He greets you all.
Is he sober?
Yes, he is.
I'm so proud.
Or he's faking it very well. But either way, like, does it really matter which it is?
Doesn't.
As long as
he's able, he's doing it.
Right, exactly.
What was his name again?
You'd never asked for his name, and I never gave it to you. And there's actually a reason for that. So you can call him whatever you want for now.
I'm going to call him Reggie.
Okay, great. So you call him Reggie. He responds to it, but has never actually confirmed or denied that that's his name.
I'm going to say, good job, Reggie, and I'm going to flick him a silver.
And he, well, let's see if he catches it. Oh, he does.
Yes.
Yeah, he sort of snatches it right out of the air.
Ooh, getting better there, Reggie. All right.
And upstairs you head with your drinks in hand for this conversation.
All right.
Okay. So Syl and Rocky already know a lot, if not most of this. But Darren and Annie, I have something really serious to talk to you about, and it's a really big secret. So if I'm going to talk to you about it, I need you to give me some sort of promise that you'll keep it secret, because it's not just my secret, it's my family's secret, and it could put a lot of people in jeopardy.
And you'll have us to deal with.
I have my own secrets, and I'll share mine if you share yours.
Okay, that seems fair.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm going to sit as close to Rowan as I can. And
Okay.
just kind of Indian style on the floor and just kind of bump him a little bit with my shoulder.
All right. Story time with Rowan.
Okay, so this is a really long story, so I'm going to try to give the truncated version. Feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Does anyone know about angels and devils, like in a general way?
Do we know about angels and devils?
Oh, probably in very general, basic terms, yeah.
In very general and basic terms, yeah.
Okay. So
You're the worst.
So they're both like manifestations of order, but angels are really good and devils are really bad. But that's not necessarily how they see it. The devils, they sometimes think that they're the good guys, and they see themselves as defenders against a much worse, more terrible evil. And if they were just to lay down arms for a single day, then we would just be overwhelmed, and everything that is innocent and happy and free would just be destroyed. Now, admittedly, I should say that the individual who told me a lot of this is a little bit biased, but I'll get to that in a minute. So the thing is that angels they think that they're really good, but they can be very, very ruthless when confronting evil. They show no mercy. They're not supposed to ever even question the decision to confront and kill something that they view as evil. And they view a lot of things as evil because of perspective. Okay, so foundation for the understanding of what I'm going to be getting into. So long ago, there was a ship of devils. They would go on this river called the Styx, and it was they would go to like lots of go to the abyss, was where all the really really bad stuff was. And it was this creepy, evil-looking ship with like black tar and sharp, pointy, irony bits all over it, and that's where they meant to go, but they either by accident or by some sort of weird, manipulation, they found themselves in heaven, and that's not a really good place for a bunch of devils to just sort of randomly find themselves, and it went really, really poorly for them. They were like a great big shining beacon of hate, we're evil. And so angels from everywhere just swarmed them and just massacred them. The only ones that survived were the ones that ran, and they only made it for a very brief period of time. There was only one that made it. She was an imp, and her name was Hasha. And
he gasps. But go on, keep going.
I know Hasha though, right?
Yeah. Hasha is a member of my family, of our family, and the reason why that is because she saw one of the angels standing just in this big field of bodies, that blood everywhere in heaven, and it hit her, and she went. Hasha chose that moment to throw herself at the angel's feet, and the angel, whose name was Sohain, should have killed her, should have not even thought twice about it, should have just immediately slew her then and there, but she didn't. And the way that angels works, it's really weird. Once she knew that was the right thing to do, it was the right thing to do, and she couldn't do anything else. But the other angels were very, very unhappy with her in that choice that she made. And they wanted to rip her wings off and throw her out of heaven. But instead, they just locked her in chains and threw her into a cell because she made a deal with Yandala, who's, the Hin's goddess.
At this point in the story, there's a knock on the tower door.
Okay, I'll go climb up.
I'll go check it out if you want to keep talking.
I love them so much.
And I'll get up and I'll go down and check out whatever's going on.
Okay. So Rocky heads down for a moment, and it's the dwarf from downstairs. Basically, he's just ready to close up for the night, but you all have not yet entrusted him with like keys or anything, so he needs one of you to like lock up behind him as he leaves and finish shutting the place down.
I'll finish later.
I'll do that. Okay. And I'll go ahead and follow the dwarf out, and
I'll just give him. Or if anything, I'll just give him the keys and just say, just bring him back.
Well, so he was downstairs, and Rocky went to talk to him, I think, while you all were still upstairs with Rowan. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'll go down and I'll walk him out, and I'll lock up behind him, and
Come back.
Okay.
I guess
So
come
the place
back up
is
and
empty.
report in.
Yep, that's fine. Did we want to continue, or did it spook you too bad, Rowan?
So long story short, my family is doing what we can to redeem Hasha, who is a devil. And if we can do that, then we show that Granny Sohain was right to show her mercy. But if we can't, then the angels are right and they get to rip Granny Sohain's wings off and throw her out of heaven.
So what does this have to do with your magic?
Well, I have taken up the family mantle, and now I am carrying a part of Granny Sohain's burden, and Auntie Hosh is going to pass to me very soon. So we're going to be working with an imp, which is a type of devil, and that's something that you all deserve to know about.
Well, Lovey, tieflings.
A little
not-
different.
Yes, but we're not too far removed. Good to
Okay.
have a little spice in the party back again.
Okay. Well, she has strong opinions, and most of them are very pragmatic, as she would say.
Good way to put it.
So It's my job to kind of rein her in and to make sure that she doesn't murder too much. And so that way, if you catch her getting a little murdery, if you could just say something to me, then I'll do my best to handle it.
That is such a good instruction.
Yeah.
I feel like something murdery is gonna happen.
I think Annie looks a little bit like, oh crap.
I love it. I love it so much. All right.
Well, that's the. Sorry. Thank you for listening to me. And like I said, please just keep it between us.
Of course. You let us know if you need anything.
Will do.
And we'll pull you back from the brink if we need to. We promise.
Okay.
Aw.
And Rowan, I know this isn't going to be easy, and I know that you're doing what you think you need to for your family. But you are your own person. You don't have to do anything that she ever says to you.
Oh, I know. Look, she kind of helped raise me, so she's been trying to push me to do evil stuff my whole life. I'm very good at telling her, no thank you.
No.
Okay. You've got me in your corner if you need it.
I do,
I
and I
haven't
very
fought
much.
Nymph before, but I bet I'd be pretty good at it.
No.
She's kind of impossible to kill, but so if she does kind of get a little murdery, just feel free.
That will be tough. I'll do what I can.
Never tell Rocky he can't do it.
Does it still look like Rowan's wrists are damaged even after almost 2 weeks?
Oh yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Baron's going to lean down and just give him a little pat on the shoulder and as sneakily as possible just put a little healing light into him.
What happens, Rowan?
Nothing happens.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Such therapeutic sessions we have together each week.
Are we all sleeping in the same room, or are we going?
I don't imagine that all 5 of you would be okay with that, but you tell me.
I would build a fort with some pillows.
I'll stay over. I don't really want to go back out into the cold.
I feel like I would let Rowan sleep on the bed, and I would just sleep on the floor next.
Oh no, I'm very tiny. Just give me a pillow, like a tiny little throw pillow, and I'll be good.
And just circles around 3 times and lays down.
All right, so you all staying in at the what is it called? Oh, the Fighting Spirit. You all staying at the Fighting Spirit tonight then?
Yes.
As always.
Sure.
Probably, yeah.
Excellent.
I'll
All right,
take my
so
room.
the night passes. It is a lovely evening.
Rocky
Snores, and I was just gonna say, obviously.
Rowan's rabbit kicking me in the butt.
The next morning, you wake up as the Launderers Guild delivers the fresh linens in the morning, and you catch sight of the Dung Sweepers Guild finishing up their night work, and you all begin to set things to right for the next day of business, and sort of huffing and puffing and running in from the street a little bit late, perhaps, but seemingly sober, is our dwarf bartender friend. The other 4 bar staff that you hired from your friend Bonnie, Rowan, was Rowan, right? Yeah. So a couple of them are also on shift right now, but they were there on time and have already sort of set stuff up. But as the dwarf sort of knocks on the door and opens the door, he's like clearly about to apologize and reassure you that like he's not drunk, he got held up. So he says that, and he says, "Oh, and I think somebody," and he sort of points behind him and turns to look, and windows rattle, and he is blown forward into the Fighting Spirit as an explosion fills Trollskull Alley.
Oh,
You can see behind him through the open door charred bodies flying through the air, anguished screams. A thick cloud of acrid smoke begins to billow outward from the blast, which looks like it happened like maybe 10 feet away from your door, like basically right in front of your door.
I run outside.
I run outside too. I've got both scimitars in my hands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got my great sword.
Mm-hmm.
So outside is a is a absolute disaster zone. People are screaming and running. You can see several bodies. It's hard to get a count at in an instant, but several bodies, charred bodies, sort of all over the street out front of your establishment. People are screaming. People are crying. It's a disaster zone.
Can we see? Can I? I'm gonna regret this because I'm the worst at it. I'm gonna look around. Can I see a culprit? Can I see somebody who might have done this?
Make me a wisdom perception check.
Is there anyone to heal?
17.
You do not notice anybody at the moment, although you do notice that there are some people who are sort of looking around and not looking at the blast site as if they saw something else, but you yourself do not see anything rather.
Shit.
I'm looking for anyone that needs healing.
So you sort of head over to you start checking the bodies, and why don't you roll me, Theron? Why don't you roll me a d6? Let's see who you arrive at first.
5.
Okay, so you get over to a little cluster of 4 what you think at first are children's bodies, and then you realize that they're actually halflings, and you see the charred remains of some musical instruments, what looks like maybe it used to be a flute of some sort, and some sort of stringed instrument that's just gotten the absolute living daylights blown out of it. Lying near them, and you make me a wisdom medicine check, please. We'll just do one for the whole group of them.
That's a 17.
You are too late for them, but you can move on to other bodies if you want. But these 4 are beyond your ability to heal. Rowan, what are you doing?
I will be doing similarly.
Okay.
Getting out a healer's kit, going around, and I will clandestinely use magical healing if I need to in order to pull anybody body back.
Why don't you roll me a d4 and let's see who you head up to first.
3.
Okay, so you head over to one of the just a singular individual body, and you get over to it, and seems to be a gnome of some sort. The first thing you note, make me a wisdom medicine check.
I get a 2.
He might be able to be saved.
Okay, well then I will heal him with a d6.
Great. So you call upon your healing and do you have to touch him for this? No, right?
No, it's at range.
Okay, so you call upon these new healing powers that you've recently acquired, and you just don't see any change in him. And that's when you realize that maybe you're too late. But you do also notice that you notice one of his hands is sort of clutched around something, and as you look closer, it looks like he's clutching a dagger.
Okay. I guess I'll get back to that. But moving on to other people.
Yeah, so that's what you see so far. Rocky.
I'm looking in the wreckage if there's anyone who's trapped, or especially if there's any buildings like on fire or anything like that.
Great. Make me a wisdom perception check then, please.
Sure. How about a nat 20 for 24?
Hey, all right. So there are a few rubbish heaps or whatever, loose whatever out in the streets that have caught fire, but it doesn't look like they're really in danger of spreading anywhere. The only building that you notice that looks like a portion of the eaves are a little bit on fire, and it might be a problem, is actually I don't want to get this wrong. I think it's Krellin's crown. It is, yes, Corellin's crown, which is the herbalist that you met, Fala, the other elf with the blessing of Corellon. Their shop is the one that has the eaves on fire.
Okay. So I'm gonna sort of charge towards there, and I'm gonna look back at Annie and say, "With me if you wanna," and I'll head on into the doors there.
Annie, are you going with him?
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you rush over, and with that natural 20, Rocky, you do notice, you notice first of all that Fala does not seem to be out on the street. which is unfortunate because she's not there to help try and save her building. And then you notice there's the second floor of her shop is this beautiful glass enclosed greenhouse. And you notice her up there, and you notice her sort of looking off in the distance. And then she looks down and sees the two. They notice something off in the distance, and then they look down and they notice the two of you running towards their shop. And that's when they notice the flames, and they bolt down the stairs and head towards the street to help you all with the flames.
Okay, so we kind of pass by them as a.
So as you get up to the door and the eaves of the shop, they're coming out of the front door to help you all.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, is there anyone else inside?
They shake their head no.
Okay. Well, that was my grand idea.
They run inside. They tell you that they're going to go get something to deal with the flames, and they run inside. And they yell back at you all to grab water if you can.
Right. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure what the best source of water is, but I'll head towards it.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a cistern somewhere nearby. So you guys, you two can head over that way. Syl, what are you doing?
Sorry, I just had a thought.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna ask. Maybe ask Annie to do it, or if she wants to do something else, that's fine. But I'm gonna get 2 buckets and put it on my quarterstaff, and then huff my little ass over to the cistern to pick up waters. That's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Only if you sing Mulan while you do it.
And you know I am deep in my heart.
Good. I wanted to be keeping an eye on the 3 people that were not really looking at the explosion.
Sure. Roll a d6 for me, please.
Okay. 2.
Great. So the one in particular that sort of catches your eye that is relatively nearby is a clearly a well-to-do Waterdavian human woman.
Okay.
Who looks like she was coming out of another shop on the street that you haven't met the proprietor of. It's called the Tiger's Eye. You think it's some sort of like a private investigator place, but you all haven't had a chance to actually meet that proprietor. But she was coming out of the Tiger's Eye. And she was one of the ones that was looking sort of up towards the rooftops and not at the actual explosion site.
I will look up at the rooftop.
You don't notice anything up there at the moment, and she seems to like be a little confused and sort of looking around, and like she can't. Yeah,
I'm going for her. Well, like I'll sheath the
Good.
scimitars. I'm not going to go at her with.
Yes,
And I'll just
Good.
go up and be like, "You saw something. Tell me now."
She looks a little overwhelmed. Why don't you make me a charisma persuasion check?
Really?
Yes. She's in shock.
Persuasion 17.
Okay. So you sort of get her attention and like make her focus on you and like block out the external stimuli for a second. And she tells you that she saw something on the rooftop.
I am gonna turn. I'm gonna yell, "I'm going to the roof. I might need some backup." I take off. I'm going.
She sort of yells after you, be careful.
I'm off.
Okay.
I'm gone.
All right. So you are heading towards the roofs. Go ahead and make me a strength athletics check, please, to climb up to the roof.
Strength.
Yes. Oh no. Oh
9.
no. All right. It's
Because I have
slow
negative
going.
1 for strength.
You'll find your way up, but it's sort of slow going. But up you head. Theron, let's head back to you.
Okay, I'm gonna seeing Syl go in that direction. How tall is this building?
It's like a tall 2-story building.
30 feet.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna run up right under Syl and go, "I'll meet you up there." Give her a pat on the butt and Misty step to the roof.
Okay, so up you head, and you appear up there on the roof, and make me a wisdom perception check.
+2 is 19.
So you look around the roof, you don't notice anything. You sort of go to the edge of the roof to look around, see what you can find, and you see a little boy sort of right underneath the edge of the roof, sort of looking into a big like rain barrel, and he's reaching in and pulls something out of the rain barrel.
Can I use my mage hand to snatch it?
What's the range on mage hand? Is it 30 feet?
30 feet.
30 feet.
Then yes, make me. Make me. Go ahead and make me a spell casting check.
Using my spell modifier?
Yeah.
Okay, that is...
Because he's gonna try... Oh, well. What'd you
13.
get?
13.
Yeah, he's so startled he rolled a natural one. So he's so startled by something yanking this thing out of his hands that he just lets it go.
Candy from a baby.
Almost literally. Great, Rowan.
Well, I'm gonna go over and try to heal somebody else. That's a bonus action. If I can then use prestidigitation to help with some of the fire, then I'll do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. You were gonna go to some of the other bodies. Roll a d6 again for me, please. See if you can- Oh, it's sneeze.
Bless you.
Woo. All right. So you head over to two more cloaked figures, cloaked in a similar way to the gnome. These two, however, are two male humans, and you immediately notice that they are both sort of combat ready. They've got leather burned, singed, leather armored now, and they both have long swords sheathed at their charred belts, which is unusual, right? I mean, you all sort of walk about with weapons sometimes, but other than you all, and you're usually a little more circumspect about it than this, people don't just sort of walk around armed and armored unless they're part of the watch, right? Or a personal bodyguard for a lord or something like that.
Right. Suspicious. Are they look dead though?
They do look very dead, yes.
Okay. Well then, trying to put the fire out is all I got left.
All right. So you do help. You're able to sort of start prestidigitating bits of it out. Rocky and Annie, at this point, Fala comes running out of their shop, and they have a couple of small little potion bottles with them. And they call out toward you, Rocky, and say, have you got the water?
Do I have the water?
I think you do, yes.
Okay. I actually asked them for a second. They go, no, wait, I do have the water.
I love it. All right. So yeah, and you were sort of like creating like a yoke for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got two buckets then, one on each side.
I was actually thinking on the way there, I was going to see if I could find a barrel on the way. Whoa, sorry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then I'm going to actually fill that barrel up with as much as I can, and I'll totally just throw away my quarterstaff and buckets. I don't care, and I'll just carry this huge barrel with as much water as I can put in there.
Great. So Fala sees the barrel, and they're like, perfect. So they run over to the barrel, and they just like pop open the corks for like these 3 potion bottles that they have, and they just dump them all in the barrel, and you can see the water in the barrel, like you see like a little like thin layer of ice begin to form on the top of it, and it sort of like gives off a little bit of like mist, because it's you can tell because the barrel gets cold too. It just got very cold all of a sudden, and they turn to Annie and they say, will you help him just heave ho?
Finally, something I can do. Let's do this.
Right.
So why don't the two of you? So we'll do it this way. You can either each make a strength athletics check, and we'll take the better result, or one of you can make the check with advantage. However you.
I'll assist Annie.
Okay.
I think makes more sense.
Great. So then Annie, make a strength athletics with advantage.
Okay.
On 3, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Was it on 3?
23.
Oh, it was definitely on 3.
Sounds like a
All
word.
right. So you all managed to heave, and the fire has begun to spread at this point, but you really sort of hit the heart of it with this super chilled water, and most of the central biggest part of the blaze goes out, and Rowan is sort of picking off the remaining bits that have sort of spread with his prestidigitation, and Fala just sort of like slumps down to the ground and thanks you all.
I look at Fala and say, Did you see anything?
They say, yes, as a matter of fact, I did. That's why I didn't notice the fire at first.
Well,
Of course. They say. Well, I was upstairs watering the plants in the greenhouse, and the blast blew out some of the windows. So naturally, I wasn't injured. Fortunately, they sort of check themselves to make sure that that's true, and then they say, but I did see a cloaked man run up to one of the bodies, and they point at the gnome that you tended to, as it were, earlier, Rowan, and they say, this man took something from the body of the dead gnome and began limping away. He was very clearly badly burned and sort of looking about furtively. That's what caught my attention, was he looked so very suspicious, like he was afraid someone might be following him. He headed that way, and she sort of points off towards one end of the alley.
I think I say, Rocky, if you wanna. And I say, we gotta lead.
Yeah, I'll be lockstep behind her.
I'll follow after them, but if I can try to heal one more person, obviously not having a lot of luck at it on the way, then I'll do so.
Sure. So I think you do sort of head over to another sort of group of bodies, and you find 2 female humans and a male half-elf dressed in the charred remains of plain clothes, and they have house insignias sort of embroidered on them, or the remains of house insignias. So clearly they were either servants or something for some noble house, but also very dead. Okay, well, I'm going after them then. All right. So the 3 of you head in the direction that Fala pointed. Theron and Syl, let's hop to you real quick and just tell me what's going on with this thing that you've pulled out of the kid's hand.
I'm pulling it back up to me on the roof.
Okay.
And it's a kid?
It was a kid that was reaching into the rain barrel and pulled something out that Theron then grabbed with their mage hand.
Okay, good to know that, because I was about to attack it.
I mean,
I might have missed that. Sorry.
It's okay. Do you want to go talk to the child? Talk?
Yes.
With your words, not your swords?
Yes, I would like to sheath probably one of my swords that I at least taken out. And was like, okay, hey, it's okay. How old is this child? Is it like...
He looks like he's maybe like 11 or 12.
Well, all right. I was like, hey, do I know him?
Make a intelligence water deep knowledge check.
14.
You've seen him around.
Okay.
He often plays around with a group of hin that you've seen him before, like dancing and just like being silly in the streets with this group of hin.
But I don't know his name.
No.
Hey, what's your name?
He says, Martem.
Okay, what are you doing up here on the roof? Why would you come up here?
He says, we're not on the roof.
Are we not on the roof?
I swiped it from the rooftop. I Misty stepped to the top.
He's down on the ground. There was a rain barrel on the ground directly underneath where you were headed and where Theron Misty stepped up.
I'm so confused. I gotta pay
So
attention.
roof, right? Roof here, building here, and rain barrel here on the ground, on street level.
Oh, so I'm yelling down at him.
You were probably like halfway up, so you can choose to either go the rest of the way up and yell down at him, or just come down and go.
So I don't even know about him.
No, you can see him from where you are.
Is there a window?
Oh, were you going up to the roof inside the building?
Was there another way to the roof?
I assumed you were climbing the building, which is why I made you make that athletics check.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is way cooler in my head.
I know you.
I'm right,
Still
cool.
winks.
Yeah, right?
So I guess I'm just Spider-Manning and just like.
I mean, not quite that nimbly as your 9 attested, but yeah, something like that.
All right.
So do you want to go up the rest of the way and yell down at him, or do you want to come down and talk to him at
Theron's on the roof, though.
Yes, Theron is on the roof.
How far off the ground am I from him?
Oh, probably 10 feet at this point.
I'll just let go and drop down.
Okay, yeah, so you can drop down. That's no problem. We'll say 9 feet so we don't roll damage. Okay, so you go over to him and he says, Martem?
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? What did you find?
He says, I don't know. I heard the boom and I ducked behind this rain barrel, and then I heard a weird plop, and I found, well, I don't know what it was, because then, and he just points up.
Yeah, they tend to do that. Okay. So did you see who plopped it down? Did you hear it?
He shakes his head no. But at this point, the woman that you spoke to that had come out of the tiger's eye, she's come over to the two of you and she says, I did.
Wonderful. Well, could you describe this person?
I don't think it was a person.
What do you mean?
It looked more like a puppet, but shaped like a man, but like a puppet without strings. I don't know how else to explain it. It was on the rooftop, and then it hurled something into the crowd that looked like it caused the explosion. And oh God, I saw those and she just sort of begins to shake as she begins to remember.
Gently take her hand, and I just go, "It's okay. Just breathe. Just breathe. Okay."
Let's have another charisma persuasion check.
Okay. 12.
She is taking deep breaths, but is still not quite verbal at this point. She's still shaking a little bit.
I would just say, let's take a moment, and I'll look back at what was his name again? I'm sorry.
Martim.
Martim. Martim. Did
Mm-hmm.
you see anything before this all happened? Did you see anybody in the square that perhaps looked weird?
No, I was just dancing with my friends. I hope they're okay.
I'm sure they're just fine.
Okay.
You did so well. Is your mom around?
No.
All right, Martin. Perhaps it's safer for you if you go home. Go home quickly, okay? Don't stop. You run.
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
He runs off.
And I look back at her. How are we doing?
She's a little calmer now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's keep going. You said you saw someone. It was horrible. I know this is terrible, but you have to help me find this person so we can fix it.
She just sort of shakes her head and she goes, I took my eyes off of it, and when I looked back, it was gone. I don't know where it went. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's absolutely okay. Did you see anybody else around? You said you saw the puppet with no strings, but did you see anyone else? Did you happen to see the puppeteer?
She says, no, I didn't see anyone else.
Okay. And what's your name, love?
I don't know. I'm so traumatized that I don't remember my name. It's Jezrin.
Jezrin. Jezrin. My name is Somei. Are you nearby?
She says, yes. Yes.
Okay. Then do you want someone to take you home? Are you okay?
She says, no, thank you. I should be fine. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for telling me what you saw. It'll be okay. We'll fix this. She
just nods and sort of shakily begins to go away. Theron, so you pull this thing up to you, and what you see is a necklace. The clasp is broken, and there are several little. The necklace itself looks like it's made of probably silver or gold. It's pretty tarnished at this point, so you're not really sure. But as you grab it, as your mage hand pulls it up and you grab it, you realize that it isn't actually tarnished. It just looks like muck from the rain barrel. So you sort of wipe it off, and you see that it's a golden necklace that has little I don't know, mini chains dangling off of it, almost like charms would be attached to it. And they're all empty except for two, which have these sort of coral red beads attached to them.
Well, I'm sure glad that little child didn't manage to steal this evidence. But so I'm I'm assuming I noticed Silme talking to this child.
Yeah, I think so.
So, as I see that this is not a child trying to steal or working for a thieves guild trying to remove this evidence from the crime scene, as he goes running off, I'm going to use my mage hand again to drop a dragon in front of him because I feel bad.
Oh, so he starts taking off and you drop a dragon down on the street and he like runs by it, pulls up short, turns around, looks around, slowly walks over, bends down, looks around, picks it up, bites it. His eyes get huge and he tears off.
I really did feel bad. It's pretty. I'm going to put it on.
Are you? Okay, cool. I don't actually think anything happens. No, not when you put it on.
Okay. He didn't even think about cursed object.
She doesn't think of this thing. She thinks everything is fine and dandy. This is spring. Everything's good.
T and I are gonna have such a conversation later.
I will say that at the moment the clasp is actually broken, so you can sort of like try it on to like look at it, but unless you have something to fix the clasp, it's not going to stay on you for the moment.
I do not.
Okay, but it's easily fixed at a jeweler.
Just easily tuck it down, Somei style.
Perfect.
Somei style. I've got
chains hanging it.
So at this point, panic has begun to die down a little bit in the street, and from the east entrance of the alley, from the east entrance of the alley come two individuals. One of them is decked out as a city watch sergeant, and the other one is a shorter, they're both human men, the other one is a shorter, older gentleman with glasses and purple robes, and around his neck he bears an amulet that has the symbol of the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors. And the City Watch guy, sort of, you can see him like trying to like get attention, like yell out and calm the situation. No one's really listening. Yeah. Everyone's still a little bit freaked out. And so he just sort of sighs and looks to his friend, and his friend nods and makes a little pass and casts a little minor Dweomer. And the city watchman again begins to speak, but this time in a much louder voice, and just sort of tells everyone to remain calm, clear out of the way, and this is now a crime scene under the investigation of the City Watch. If you have evidence to report, we'll take that now. Otherwise, clear out. Nothing more to see here.
DM, are Rocky and Ani still going randomly down an
alley? Yes, I think they are the other direction out of Trollskull Alley.
Okay. And so far, I'm the only one that's got the information about the puppeteer.
Correct.
Well, I'm not saying anything.
Let's just get started. You would absolutely, especially with your close relationship with so many of the Watch, and this is not at all to tell you what to do because you're Syl and you do what you want, but right. You would absolutely know that withholding information about an active investigation from the Watch is for sure against the code legal.
I think Syl would want to make sure that the information got into trusted hands. Any of the guard nearby people that she knows are upstanding.
So at the moment, it's just the two of them. Go ahead and roll percentile for me.
Oh, how do I do that?
2d10s. One of them is your tens digit. One of them is your ones digit.
All right, let me find a d10. 2d10s?
Mm-hmm.
5 and a 5.
55. Okay, you recognize this watch commander. His name is Saith Cromley. You've heard of him. You have heard like he's a pretty reliable dude, but you've never actually met him, so he's not one of the ones that you like are on friendly terms with. But in terms of like, is he a crooked member of the Watch? Nah.
Sugar Watch 55. All right. I guess I will walk over to Cromley then.
Okay. So by the time you get over there, the two of them have gone over to several of the bodies, and the mage is sort of inspecting the bodies and looking around while Saith, Sergeant Cromley, tries to just sort of clear the area, sort of establish a perimeter, as it were. And he does notice you coming over.
Sergeant Cromley.
He nods and says, "Oh, I guess my reputation precedes me. You are?"
Some No last name. Don't worry about it.
He says, "Do you have evidence to report about what happened here?"
I have some information that I received from a little bit of passerbys. They reported seeing somebody. This might sound strange. Almost looked as if they were a puppet without strings.
He looks real confused at that, but he nods and sort of takes out a little like packet of parchment and a quill and starts writing. He's got like a little portable ink pot on his belt, and he starts writing and just nods for you to continue.
I don't know what this has to do with anything. This is our establishment. This is the Fighting Spirit. We're new, but
he stops you right there, and he points at the Fighting Spirit, and he says, "This is yours?"
This is ours, yes.
Who's our? Who's we?
Oh, well, we're the Fighting Spirits.
And are you referring to yourself in the first person plural, ma'am?
I guess I am. Yeah.
He looks dubious, so make me a charisma deception check. Oh.
15.
Oh, well, hell, and now I have to look up his moderator. His moderator? His modifier. What is his name?
Moderator? I want his number.
I know, right? He got a 17. Okay, so he goes,
Shit.
"Ma'am."
Sorry.
I will. It's okay. He says, "Ma'am, I don't know if you're new to town, but it is against the code legal of Waterdeep to withhold information. Now, who else owns this establishment with you all?"
Me and my party own this establishment. There's
He
Theron
says-
up there on the roof.
Yo, hello.
He says, "What's okay?"
Okay. I have Rocky and Annie. I don't know where they are. Ryoga. And then I have Big Brother Rowan. He's off trying to make sure everybody is safe, I'm sure. We all own Fighting Spirits, and this has been an unprecedented attack on these people, and we just want to make sure everybody's okay.
He says, "Well, I appreciate your concern, ma'am, and so do we. Barnabas and I are going to be taking over the investigation. It sounds like we might need to have a few questions and a little chat with you and your 4 friends." He says, "I'm going to let Barnabas here wrap up his investigations of the evidence out here. If you could collect the rest of your party, as you referred to them, and just have everybody ready at the, what was it called? The Fighting Spirits?"
Yes.
If you could just have everybody there, and as soon as Barnabas is done here, we'll pop by and just ask you all a few questions.
I would like to ask a favor, if I may.
He nods for you to go ahead.
This is our town. We're making we're making a home here. Please, we will do our very best if we hear anything to share it with you, because I understand the City Watch is proud and upstanding, and we want to make sure that they continue to be strong and have all the information we have. But please share it with us as well. A couple of us, we work for also high people that want to ensure the safety of this city.
He says, "Are you telling me that you all are members of the Watch?"
Not of the Watch per se, but of someone who... I'm a member of the Grey Hand.
That pulls him up short. He says, are all of your party, is everyone in your party members?"
No.
He says, well, if you could give me the names of those who are, I'll have to verify it, of course. But if that's the case, then it might be possible for us to share a bit of information, though this is watch jurisdiction until such time as the Blackstaff sees fit to say otherwise.
I understand. We must bow to the watch. Those in our party that are part of the hand are Theron. Wave Theron.
Oh, she's looking at me again. Hello. How do I get down from here?
Yeah, you're trapped up there now.
Send a ladder, please.
Yes.
And Virga.
He says, and he writes those down, and he says, excellent. Well, we will verify all of that. And like I said, we'll be by in a little bit to just ask some questions and maybe to do some information sharing. Thank you very much, Miss Sill, and we will be talking soon.
Silme,
my mistake. Let's do a... Yeah, totally. Let's do a quick cut over to the three of you who went running down in the direction that Fala pointed you all. Tell me more. So let me tell you more. That's a better thing to do. So you're heading down towards another one of the establishments that you haven't gotten a chance to really meet the proprietor of. It's called the Bent Nail. You just haven't really had much of a reason to go down there because primarily the Bent Nail is a woodworking shop. The owner is an artisan and a carpenter and a wood carver. So you haven't just really had much of a reason to sort of go down that direction. But that's where you're headed now. What are you looking for?
Anybody limping? So Annie's going off of.
Sure, totally.
Right.
Great. Let's have then wisdom perception checks from the three of you.
Any blood, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
23 from Rocky.
Natural 20.
Woo!
22.
7.
Okay.
Lower vantage points. Hard.
Exactly. You end up right behind Rocky and like just can't really see anything.
I'm really lucky I found the two of them.
Exactly. The two of you, however, definitely see somebody with a limp and a cloak sort of cutting around, like coming out of a little alleyway and cutting around the Bent Nail and heading north.
I point off to make sure everybody else, because I don't know if everyone sees it. I'm like, that way, let's go! And I take off.
Let's see. So you notice as you yell that, the figure that you spotted sort of starts and takes a quick look behind you and double times it up the street.
Dang it, I shouldn't have yelled. You just stop right there! Somebody stop that man! Or person. I don't really know, actually.
Okay.
I just already...
So, I mean, I have my movement's 10 feet faster, and
Okay.
I want to use the key point to take an extra dash action and try to get up to him.
Absolutely. So make me and then if you were able to get up to him, what do you want to do?
Probably take him to the ground.
Okay, great. So let's do this. Make me... Go ahead and make me a strength athletics check.
Gladly.
To tackle this dude.
That's a 23 from me.
Okay, I do need to check. It's an ability check and not an attack roll. So his natural 20 is not an automatic success. So let me just check his stats. His dexterity is a +4, so he got a 24.
No!
So you just catch the edge of his cloak as he like turns a corner, speeds off, and you're definitely keeping up. Like you're definitely faster than him, but at this point he's entered sort of a very twisty and turny sort of alleyway, and so you're able to sort of you keep losing sight of him briefly, which sort of pulls you back enough that like you end up you can find him, but you're having a hard time getting to him again. Let's do one more because I think you probably could catch him again
Okay.
after a few twists and turns. So make that roll, and I'll come back and check with you in a minute. Annie and Rowan, what are you all doing as Rocky has just taken off?
Well, I think first I actually turned to Rowan and I'm like, pick up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I like almost football him like off to the side, and I'm just like,
I love it so
I
much.
do not like pans fall out of my backpack, and like I leave like a trail of just stuff.
Yep. All right. So you turn the corner just in time to see Rocky like stumble as he reaches out and just misses the figure's cloak, and then he's off again around the corner. So Rocky, what was that athletics check?
That was a 20 from me.
Okay. Oh my God.
You did not.
I did. Wait.
You did not.
Where is it? I'm looking at the wrong screen.
That
Another
dice.
24.
There
Was I able to get a bonus action off at this person? Probably not, because I didn't see them.
I think if you're trying to hex again, I think he's keeping ahead of your line of sight this time.
That's what I figured. I just thought I should ask.
So
Okay,
at
maybe
this
it's
point, I need to check something for you, Rocky. What is your constitution, Rocky? Is it +2 or +3?
It is.
I have your sheet up.
It's a +2.
Okay, great. So make me a constitution saving throw, please.
Sure. It's a 13.
Okay, so you're beginning to get a little winded. You've been running full out for a while now, but you're okay. You can keep going. Make me a intelligence Waterdeep knowledge, please.
Okay. Let's see here. That's a 5, a whopping 5.
Oh, Rocky.
Okay.
Did you guys hear the intelligence part?
I did. Cool. Okay. So you try to sort of cut ahead, like, go around. You sort of get a sense for where he is, and you try and like maybe go around to like, take another path and cut him off at the pass. But you misjudge where you are and end up turning down a dead-end alley.
I will start shadowboxing because it might be an illusion like last time.
Yes! I'm obsessed. Amazing.
Take him down, Rocky.
All right, so Annie and Rowan, you all can catch up to Rocky at this point, and you just see him shadowboxing in a dead-end alley.
So we didn't see that.
Did they
Rocky
disappear
went one
again?
way, and that the cloaked figure went another way, did we?
No, I mean, Rocky might be able to tell you which way it seemed like he was going, but you all couldn't catch sight of him after he turned the first couple of corners.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, sorry, what'd you say, Rowan?
Oh, did they disappear again?
I didn't see it happen. I didn't see any fizzles or anything like that, but they might be here. They might still be here.
Okay.
Okay.
What happened, Rocky? You were chasing him. You were like you were gonna catch him. What happened?
I was gonna catch him, and then he went away, and I didn't go that way. I was gonna try and come around and catch him, and then by the time I caught up to where he was gonna be, I'm pretty sure of it. He was just gone. So
What way did he go? Can we backtrack at all, Rocky? This is important. I set Rowan down. Can we backtrack at all?
Thank you.
Well, I mean, do I think that I can, or at least willing to try?
Yeah, maybe at least to get maybe a general idea of like where he might have been headed, like what area of the city he might have been headed to, if nothing else.
Okay. Then yeah, I guess we can try that for now.
Let's see if we can follow tracks.
I was just gonna say, why don't we do this? Why doesn't somebody make, with the three of you working together, why doesn't somebody make a wisdom survival check with advantage?
I nominate Rocky.
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah. It's because I knew the way, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, totally.
We had a whopping 12 with advantage.
Hmm.
You know what?
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to use inspiration.
Okay, sure.
Can I also give him inspiration?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I will say, your steadfast and stoic demeanor in the face of adversity is a constant inspiration to me and everyone else around you.
Oh, You can add a d6 to whatever your best roll is of those 3.
Well, that brought it all the way up to an 18. So
Okay, all
not
right.
too shabby.
So you definitely, I mean, you can't, you see his tracks for a while, and then he sort of he has apparently pulled out into a more trafficked sort of thoroughfare, so it becomes difficult to really trace him very well. What you do realize, though, is that he's headed, maybe somewhat surprisingly, he's headed to a sort of an area of the ward that where there are several noble villas. These are sort of the I don't know what, like the lower end of the nobles that have villas in this area, but they're definitely still like part of the aristocracy. And there are several families that have manses in this area. You're not quite sure which he ended up going to, but you get the sense that that was where he was headed, towards that sort of community there.
They're like the ones who are nobles in name only and only recently got it restored or something along the lines.
Yeah, some combination of that, right? Like new money or recently restored title or fallen on hard times and trying to claw their way back up. Like, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think we should do?
Yeah, this is good enough. It's fine. I don't think we have to go any further. It's okay.
I mean... Well, we should go a little further.
I mean, but it's trafficking. There's, lots of noble houses, and we should just go back, meet up with everyone else.
And then,
this is a great run. It's a great workout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy,
well,
at some point in all of our lives, a warrior has to come up to a threshold and know that you have to push past it. I think this might be one of those for you right now.
No, not yet. Not ready for that yet.
No.
I could pry my trauma for my cold dead fingers.
Not ready for that confrontation.
Well, hey, how about since we've come all this way and we kind of just fled from a crime scene, how about you go back and tell everybody that we're okay and maybe tell them where we are, since we should do that more. And we're not very good at it in a general sense.
Yeah, maybe if you guys want to go investigate further, I just, bad things might happen if I go any further. But so I'll see you back at the Fighting Spirits. Bye. And
bye.
And he just turns around. So it's going back.
So
Tell him
she
to
takes
super
off.
weird Rowan on the case, and he'll put down his hand to about his knee, high enough for Rowan to jump up and hit it.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes, I love it so much. And like freeze frame, and we cut over to Theron and Syl. So Theron, you're up on that roof, my dear sweetheart. What's the plan?
I suppose I could try to climb down. Is there a door anywhere? Hello?
It doesn't look like it. No, this doesn't look like a roof that's meant to be accessed.
Is my little stairway, but is my tower near where she is?
You're what? No. She's sort of on like the opposite side of the street, which is like probably a good 10, 15 feet wide. So
Give me a moment. I might be able to get down.
Do I have a wooden ladder that I might be able to send up to her? I feel like I would have one to let people out of my tower.
Oh my god, you're right, you do.
I do.
Yeah, you totally do. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Lord.
I'd be like, I would just look up, go, T, hold on. I might be able to do something. And I run, I grab the ladder, and I tie a rope to it. I have rope. And then God, this is gonna be the worst check ever. I want to throw the rope up to her so that she can pull the ladder up. And
I have this little glowy hand. If I could just pull it up to myself.
Syl like throws it, and like it doesn't really.
It doesn't go anywhere.
No. And Theron's like, oh, and then
darling,
hands it.
Thank you. I forgot mine up. I don't normally carry my rope around. That's something weird people do.
And the whole time they're coming down, I'm just like, okay, making sure that if she falls, at least I could break her with my body. Like I can break her fall with my body.
I love it. All right, so I mean, it's a ladder. Like, I think it's fine, right?
It's a rope ladder.
Theron's got a good dexterity. I feel like they're going to be fine coming down a ladder. coming down a ladder.
Well, just in case, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but also I'm not gonna make Max make a check.
I
Thank
no.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you come down, and what are the two of you then doing?
Well, shit.
I think I found a dead end lead. I thought there was something to it, but that little boy was just fishing some jewelry out of a bucket, and I paid him for it. Well, after you were done talking to him, but
Are the guards nearby us?
Ish.
Why don't we go inside?
Cool.
T, I want you to keep your voice down. Do you trust me?
always.
All right, T. Let's go inside. Let's go inside the spirits, and then you can show me what you've got. Okay.
Oh yes.
All right. Let's
I
keep.
took a page from your book and tucked it in my bosom.
Oh, look at you! And you smell nice too. Have I told you that? You take some of my perfume.
I did.
That's quite nice. And we're walking into the spirits.
Excellent. All right, so you all enter the spirit. Annie, a couple of minutes later, you turn the corner and sort of see that for the most part, the alley has cleared out. Barnabas is apparently the mage's name, and Sergeant Cromley are still there, sort of, investigating. But otherwise, the street is pretty empty, save for the two of them and the bodies.
I go walk over to the fighting spirits. Maybe they're in there. I don't know.
So Sergeant Cromley sort of starts over to you as you sort of approach the area of the crime scene, as it were, and then he realizes that you're going for the fighting spirit, and he just sort of waves to you as you go in.
Please tell me you have an armful of pots and pans and little things you picked up from Rowan's.
Oh my god! I forgot that you had dropped all that stuff.
Would I have? Would Annie have?
You would have
this?
totally picked it up.
Like maybe she walked past a few, and then she would think like. Still probably would, and Rowan would be really sad. Like he'd have a sad puppy face that all of his pots and pans are missing.
And I feel like your preciseness would have been like, this is out.
That's the other thing. Like it's just a mess in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
So she's not doing it.
That's actually nice. That's actually what like tips Cromley off, that like you're not just like a patron going to this bar, but like you've got all these cooking implements. You must work there or something, right? Because why else would you be carrying cooking implements all over town?
Or you just looted someplace.
Yes, he doesn't question that.
Is Reggie in there? Is Reggie?
Reggie is in there. So by the time that you've all gone back, Reggie is there, and he absolutely is at the bar with a drink in his hands. And one of Bonnie's friends that you all hired is sort of like he's got like she's got like the back of his shirt pulled up, and she's putting like a little damp wash rag up against his back. You can see that like it's not badly burned, but it's red, and there's some little blisters. Like he clearly got a little bit of that fireball in his back.
Can I go over to them?
Yeah.
So you said, do we know the Bonnie's friend? Did we have a name for her?
No. What is her name? You tell me.
Clarice.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Clarice.
Hello, Clarice. So I would just walk up to him. Clarice, everything okay?
He tries real fast to like hide the mug of ale behind his back, and like accidentally hits Clarice with it, and it just sort of clatters to the ground.
I would just walk around to the other side of the bar, pick up another one, pour it halfway full, and hand it to him. After a day like today, it's okay.
And he takes a great big deep breath.
Don't worry about it, but I need you to be a little bit sharp. After Clarice takes care of you, we need to be ready for maybe helping some few people who are coming in, okay?
He sort of nods. And at that moment, the sergeant and the mage knock on the door, which is sort of a little bit open already, and sort of peep in. And Cromley says, well, if you don't mind, are you all gathered?
No, we're not. I just talked to you like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, it was a little while ago at this point.
Okay. To me, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Well, he says, well, how many of you are missing?
3?
At that moment, she walks in the door.
2?
Oh my gosh, all these pots and pans are everywhere. I need to just organize them by size and then according to the shape.
Me.
What?
Hi, love.
And Cromley says, "Great. So is that everyone then?"
No, I said there was 3 missing. Now there are 2. I
And
assume
who is it
they
that's
are
missing?
Rowan, Porch Pot, Trollskull. There's a hyphen between Porch Pot and Trollskull.
Yes.
And Ryoga. You can call him Ryoga.
Any idea where they might be?
I assume they are out seeing to everybody who perhaps have been scared or injured, or keeping them safe, or making sure everybody's okay.
Cut over to Rowan and Rocky. What are you two doing?
So,
We are finishing a high five. That is what we're doing.
That's right. So
Okay, so now what do we do?
Care of the people who are scared and upset and making sure that everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Is y'all's plan to head over and continue to try and follow, or what's the plan?
Yeah. I think we'll continue. Although we might try to be a little bit sneaky at this point. Maybe
Okay.
that would be best, since someone might question our presence here.
Great. All right. So with Rocky and Rowan heading over to these villas and the other 3 of you in the presence of the City Watch, I think that's where we're going to put it on pause for this week.
No.
I just have one
That I
question.
sometimes leave you with, but
I just have one question.
tell me.
So, Crowley, the dwarf, is that his name?
No. Crowley is the watch sergeant.
Okay, the dwarf that came in right at the time of the fireball.
Uh-huh.
Reggie.
Didn't he close? Are we terrible employees making him work close and open the next day?
It's like
You for sure gave him a clopen. Yeah.
We are terrible people.
Yep.
But like, what tavern is open at like 8 a.m. though?
I mean, there's stuff to, but you're not just a tavern. There's things to do. Like, your employees are multi-purpose.
Let's just assume that he's just over enthusiastic about his new position and volunteered for the Clopen.
Okay.
We are not terrible people. Somebody called in sick.
Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us and joining. We shattered the goal of having 25 viewers tonight, which means that we are going to do a giveaway of a copy of either Dragon Heist or Dungeon of the Bad Mage. I don't know which, to be honest, but we'll take care of that. In the meantime, before we get to that, though, thank you all so very much for hanging out with us tonight. We had a blast. We're all going to tell you our favorite parts in just a moment, but I want to let you all know that there are 3 other teams who are going to be running this same adventure this week. The Autumn team is next up on Thursday at 8:30 Eastern. Then oh Lord, I don't remember who's spring and who's summer, but Friday also at 8:30 and Saturday in the afternoon. So come check out all the different teams as they run through Dragon Heist. Drop us a follow, drop us a sub if that's a thing that you're inclined to do here on Twitch. You can see all of our Twitter handles beneath our pictures. Follow us on Twitter, hang out, talk to us, tweet us, let us know what you thought, because we are definitely going to be talking about it all week. Please type the keyword heist in chat to enter the giveaway. Reminder that anybody who plays on any of the 4 streams or is a DM on any of the 4 streams is not eligible to enter. So please don't type heist in the chat if you are one of those people. But everybody else who's here absolutely should type heist in the chat. So far, only 3 people have done it, which is fine. But everybody else, type heist because you want a chance to win. While we are doing that, let's go around and tell us who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of tonight was. Let's start with Allison.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Letica05. Oh gosh, favorite part of tonight. I mean, I think it was us Theron and Annie's awkward talk and trying to find people, and that just awkward talk did not help them find anybody at all. And then they just stumbled upon the rest of the game.
Absolutely. All right, Rocky, Jonathan.
Hi. I'm Jonathan. You can find me at Red Hand Roleplay on Twitter. It's also our actual play podcast that Allison and I and also Ryan on the Thursday and Woodson on the Saturday are in. So a bunch of us are hanging around. My favorite part of tonight I think it was basically yelling "piss off, ghost" and charging headlong into the illusions.
Yes.
And the Rowan high five. I'm excited for buddy cop action out there.
100%. Speaking of buddy cop action, Steven.
Well, I was going to say the high five, but I'll move on past that. I think it has to be my very first hex, downing the murderer.
Yeah.
Especially since I suspect I know who that is, and if that's true, then there's no getting better than that.
Definitely. All right. We're going to move on to Max in just a minute, but I just want to remind everybody we are very shortly going to be doing this drawing. So if you have not put the word heist in the chat, do that now so that you can be entered to win a copy of either Dragon Heist or Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which comes out in a week or two, I think. All right, Max, who are you? Where can we find you? What was your favorite part?
Well, you said my name, and I can be found at allmaxd20 on Twitter or on Twitch or anywhere where internet social media occurs. And my favorite part, I'm just loving the low int, high whiz of Rocky all around.
Yeah.
That or stealing from a child's. Finally getting
Also
to use my mage
moment.
hand.
Also a good moment. All right, and last but most certainly not least, Miss Alex.
Hi, I am Alexandra Gaston. You can find me. I promised you guys I was going to make a better Twitter handle.
Oh, yeah.
And I have. You can find me on Twitter at Crit Charisma. That is CRIT Charisma. You can also find me on Instagram at my same Twitch handle, which is Hal Daggers. I am active on both. Favorite moment of tonight was realizing that I was actually scaling a wall and not going through a building.
That was my favorite moment too.
I didn't know. I was just thinking I'm going up a stair, and you're like, "Oh no, he's right below you." I was like, "I'm on the wall, like Spider-Man."
I mean, you're climbing. It's all good.
I just don't know what I was climbing, so I'm just like, "Cool." 10 feet off the wall, like the not badass that I am. So,
hey, you made it that high.
But that, and of course, Eugenio's beautiful wig and cloak.
I've had a good time with this thing.
I know. It's fallen like 20 plus times.
All right, I am Eugenio Vargas, also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. I am also the dungeon master of an actual play podcast called The Last Refuge. We are releasing, this coming Wednesday, we are releasing our super spooky extra special Halloween episode, which I had a ton of fun recording this past Sunday with our cast. They were very stressed out the whole time, but I really enjoyed myself. We also have a special surprise guest on that show. So for those of you who have been listening in the past, I think you'll be very excited to see who joins us in that episode. You can find us on iTunes and everywhere else that podcasts are found. You can head to our website, www.dndlastrefuge.com. I don't usually give a favorite moment because I love you all and all of our moments so much. But I will say that I love how we managed to really get good story done every week. Like, we are progressing in this adventure, and there's so much of y'all's beautiful, rich, awesome, exciting backstories that we also managed to have time to weave in. So thank you for that. I hope all of you who are watching are also enjoying that. And thank you all. We had a great size crowd tonight, so please come back next week. We're going to be here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern next week, and every week. And please come back the rest of this week. The other 3 streams are also going to be doing giveaways. We would just love to really spread the word about this awesome idea that Dan Gaston and Variant Roles have allowed us to do, which is to have 4 teams running the same adventure all at once. It's a blast. Thank you so much for being here. One more we are rolling now for the giveaway, and it looks like, oh dear, Sakatur has won the raffle for this evening. Congratulations, Sakatur. Thank you so much for joining us. If you didn't win, but you want another chance, come back on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Variant Roles. We will see you next week. In the meantime, thank you again so much for joining us. Drop us a line on Twitter, sub to the channel. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye.